What's up?
How's it going?
Wait, can you hear my mic?
Yeah. Perfect.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it sounds like usual.
Okay, awesome. Cool, dude. What's up?
Not much. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you awesome. Your lighting's great too.
I know. I think I added a few more lights, so hopefully it's a little better.
No, yeah, it's awesome. Where do you go play today?
A little bit of a Corvallis Country Club.
Oh, right on. So you got some of the hills going on?
Yeah, got some hills. Not my best round. Got an 86, but
Okay.
something to improve off of, I guess, next time.
That's not bad. How many birdie / pars did you get?
Probably 6 or 7. I don't remember.
That's not bad.
There were some bad holes though.
Yeah, like how bad?
We're talking some quadruple bogeys.
How did that? Was it more with your short game, or did you have trouble getting it there?
Yeah, so it was 1 into the hazard, 2 into a tree. No, 1 into a hazard, 2 drop, 3 into a tree, 4 into the same tree, 5 to the edge of the green, 6 on, 2 putt for 8.
Oh,
it was brutal.
Yeah, that is pretty brutal. What's the toughest hole on that course?
The toughest hole? That's a good question. Well, for me it was that one. I would say in general 1 is kind of hard because, obviously it's the first hole, so you're not quite dialed in yet, and it's long and narrow, so you've got to kind of pipe a drive down there, which is tough for your first shot of the day.
Yeah, I've only played that course one time. Or because when I was little, I took golf lessons at GCO, and then we did little tournaments and stuff. I think I told you the last time we golfed, but yeah, I went to Spring Hill today.
Oh, that's what I saw. Hit some range balls.
Yeah, I was just bombing it.
That driver looked hammered.
Yeah, I was going hardcore. What?
Did you figure out the slice? Were you hitting some straight ones too?
What I was doing was I freaking was playing it off my front foot, which helped a ton.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I was playing it center, I was playing my irons, and no wonder it was slicing.
So are you hitting the driver good now?
Yeah, I hit 3 in a row straight like that.
Bro, I'm terrified for next time we play then.
You want to play sometime?
Of course, yeah.
You want to play next week?
Next week, yeah, for sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because you were piping your hybrid damn near as far as my driver, so.
Yeah, that's what I do. I got a couple large buckets, and then I was just kind of, because I was kind of slicing my not my irons, my hybrids, and then I started playing it off not too far off my front foot, but then I put it a little bit up in my stance, and I was drilling it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna try this with my driver, and then it worked.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I think that I'll probably stick with my hybrids, because we'll probably play Tristing Tree.
Yeah, if we go to Tristing, no harm in just bombing drives. Mostly.
Yeah, especially on, what is it, 15 and 16?
Yeah, 14 and 15.
14 and 15. Those are wide open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you want to, since we're on golf, do you want to talk about it right now, or do you want to start off with something else?
We could talk a little bit about golf. It kind of sucked today. Terrible weather, so they weren't even able to finish up the second round. But what you saw was Kellan Morikawa, who is playing in the morning, just having the tournament of his life so far and making the course look easy. Nobody has really been able to match him from tee to green this week. He's just been red hot, and so that's been exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's doing really good. And then Streelman's tied for second.
Yep, tied for second with Justin Thomas, I want to say.
With Justin Thomas. They're both doing good. They're both 10 back, right?
Yeah, 10 under, and then 3 back from Morikawa, who's 13 under. So it should be a pretty exciting weekend of golf.
And then your boy, Victor Hovland, is third.
I think he's tied for 6th. He's at 8 under.
Yeah, he's tied for 6. Okay.
He's having a good week. I think he can get it going on the weekend.
Yeah, he's doing good. And then I think, what?
He's definitely in it. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I think it'd be fun if we had a Ricky alert, no matter where he is. We should always just say where he's at. Because
Where is he at?
I think he's like 30 something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he's 3 back.
3 back. Wow.
He's 3 under, and then he's
10 back.
he went up like 25 spots in the rankings.
Yeah, that's right. Because last week was his first made cut in a while, so looks like he's going to make 2 cuts in a row. So at least some positive momentum for him.
Yeah, I know. It's just so funny because I just like him so much. He's not even really. I mean, he's good, but he's never, I feel like, at the top.
Yeah, he's a little overrated.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just raining really bad, and it's in Ohio.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was kind of a stormy, overcast day, and then they finally got some good weather today, but it got dark before they were able to finish. So they're gonna finish the second round tomorrow, and hopefully are able to squeeze in the entire third round.
Yeah, who do you think is gonna pull that off?
I still want to lean Victor Hovland.
I think that Hovland's got he's up there, and I was like, Jonah's gonna be pumped.
I know, I'm pretty excited for him, but Colin looks tough to beat too. The way he's hitting the ball, it's gonna be one of those two.
You have both of those guys?
No, I don't have Colin this week. This is the 1 week I didn't use Colin, and
I felt like Colin was your guy. You usually had him.
He was my guy. I feel bad that he just burned me a little bit too much, so I had to give him the week off, and he's making me pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so funny though, because I thought you had I mean, they probably are your favorite fighters. I mean, not fighters, golfers. But when I was saying I was wishing some people would win, and then you would say I'm cheering for Morikawa and stuff. It makes total sense because since you have them in your lineup and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I know I picked the wrong week to not use him.
Mm-hmm. But Hovland, he's good. It's so hard to watch for 4 days straight.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially when you have stuff going on.
Right. Yeah.
You just kind of have to follow it.
Yeah, just follow it, and then Sunday is always pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. And it's so impressive that I mean, it's easier for you since you're into golf, but it's so so many people.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we get into UFC though, it might be the opposite.
It's tough though because I don't even know a bunch of the people on the undercard. You only really know them once they get big names, you know.
Right.
There's mid-tier guys and there's high level, but dudes that are making their debut, you have no idea.
Do you want to move into a little UFC?
Yeah, we can.
I made picks for the 5 fights on top of the card. You know.
How about you want to start off with your predictions, and then I'll kind of go through a few fights on the prelims, and then I'll give my predictions and stuff for the
sure.
5.
You want to just do the prelims first, and then we can give our predictions at the same time.
Booyah, that makes more sense. Okay, so for the prelims, there's 2 fights that are kind of sleeper fights. There's 2 fights that are kind of sleeper fights, and that I think they're really good. And it's Leonardo Santos versus Roman Bogatov, and it's Roman Bogatov's. He's undefeated, and I'm pretty sure it's his UFC debut. And on this card, I'm pretty sure there's going to be 4 debuts for guys.
Okay.
So they've never even fought in the UFC before, so that's going to be kind of cool. And so Bogatov, I'm pretty sure he's 10-0. And then Leonardo Santos he's on a win streak, and he's older, but I think that I just like fights when there's guys that have won a whole bunch, when there's either a goose egg on the line, you know what I mean? If somebody's win streaks on the line, it's way more interesting to watch.
Right. Cause then they have something to prove, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, so that's basically all I wrote down for that sleeper fight. I think it'll be pretty good. And then for the second one, it's Makwan Amirkhani versus Danny Henry. And then, so Danny was on, I think, a 5-fight win streak, and then he lost to Dan Ige, and Dan Ige is going to be headlining next week's Abu Dhabi card against Calvin Kattar. So that's a fair loss. You lost to a dude that's really good. So that guy's pretty legit. And then Makwan Amirkhani, super good, and he was on a win streak, and then he lost to Shane Burgos, who's really good. You should you have ESPN Plus, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, you should go back and watch Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. It was like one of the fight of the year candidates, and that's who Amir Khan lost to last. So, that's he's kind of in the same boat as they're kind of in the same boat. Their last losses were to really good guys, so it's nothing to really be ashamed about.
No.
And Amir Khan is really explosive. Like he throws flying knees and crazy stuff like that. So yeah, there's probably going to be a knockout there, and then for the prelim main event, it's going to be really interesting because it's going to be Volkan Ozdemir versus Jiri Prochazka or something. And it's Prochazka's. He was Ryzen is like another organization. I'm pretty sure it's in like Japan or something. He's the current champion over there. And these are light heavyweights, so 205 pounds. And he's really good. He's riding like an 11 fight win streak right now.
Oh wow.
And I'm pretty sure 10 of those have either come from knockout or TKO.
So he's kind of established overseas, and now he's trying to sort of make a name for himself on the big stage. Yeah,
and then the guy he's fighting, Volkan Ozdemir, is hella good. So it's going to be a really good fight.
But that one sounds interesting.
Volkan, they kind of look the same. Like they're really the similar fighters. I think like height and reach wise, but Volkan, he is super good. He fought for the title. Let me see. Yeah, he fought for the title against Daniel Cormier back in 2018. And then he lost and went on a little bit of a skid, but now he's on a 2-fight win streak. But the thing is that's really interesting about him, so he fought Dominic Reyes, and in my opinion, I thought Dominic Reyes he beat Dominic Reyes, and Dominic Reyes is super good because he fought John Jones his last fight, and it was super close. I thought Dominic Reyes beat John Jones. So Volkan's on his game. It's either I'm just kind of scared because I was watching highlights of Fury and he got caught a few times, like by guys that aren't like they're probably UFC level but not high caliber. You know what I mean? So
right.
That kind of concerns me.
Like a red flag, sort of.
Mm-hmm. I want Fury to win because he's a underdog, but Volkan, he's kind of established. And if you do like MMA math, even though it's not, you can't always say like just because someone beats somebody else, that means that they're going to beat another person. You know what I mean?
Right, because they're all the different styles.
They're all different styles, and styles make fights and stuff. So I want Prochazka to win because he's young. And it's just interesting because like guys that you don't really know about that are super good in other organizations are just kind of a fun story, you know? But yeah, I think that the safe bet to go would be Ozdemir, but I don't know. But
just because he's like not his first time in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, those 3 fights I'm looking forward to those a lot. And honestly, the UFC is super smart because those fights are like the Ozdemir and the Prochazka fight. That's the main event for the prelim. So that's like the little taste of if that one's good, you have a good shot at like getting more people to buy pay-per-view. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like an advertisement almost.
Basically. But yeah, those are the 3 prelim ones that I'm really looking forward to. There's other ones too, but like you never know.
And those are the ones that are going to start at like 2 a.m. local time, right? The prelims
in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So right now, I forget what time it is there. It's Saturday there.
Yeah. Probably like 9 in the morning, or it's probably 8 in the morning. Because I remember you were saying the fights start at 6 a.m. there, but 7 p.m. here. So if it's 9
p.m. Yeah.
Probably 8 a.m. there.
Yeah. I'm dumb. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go into your predictions?
Let's do it. Should we start at the bottom with Amanda Ribas versus Paige Van Zandt?
Yeah. So do you want to like give your take and then I'll do mine? And then we'll just move our way up the card.
Yeah. Let's have me give my prediction. And then people can ignore it and listen to whatever you have to say.
No,
it's probably a lot better. No. So what I kind of thought for this one, obviously Amanda's a heavy favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Paige, wasn't she like bad mouthing the UFC or whatever about not getting paid enough or something?
Mm-hmm. She just wants to test the waters.
Mm-hmm. I think the UFC took offense to that comment and then just gave her an absolute killer, Amanda Ribas. And so I think Paige might have been spending like a little bit too much time on social media, on Instagram and all that stuff during the break. And Amanda's just been in the gym training, preparing for this moment. I think she's going to come out barnstorming and just blow the windows off of Paige Van Zandt. I don't think this one's going to be very close.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was going to go with, when it came between Paige and Hebos, I was going to go, actually, like, I can see it either going like crazy, but at the same time, Paige Van Zandt is a legit fighter. But, you never know. I feel like Hebos is probably way more hungry, and Paige definitely has in the back of her mind that she can make money from other stuff. You know what I mean? Absolutely. As to Hebus probably is not going to have an OnlyFans account after she retires.
Is there an OnlyFans account for Paige Van Zandt?
I think maybe. Don't get any ideas.
Man, maybe you save your money from the pay-per-view and use it for the OnlyFans,
Yeah.
Like, what Paige Van Zandt content do we really want,
So Rachel Ostovich, I thought was a beast. She's another one that you should look up, Rachel Ostovich. So Paige beat her back in 2019. And then that's about, I looked up Rachel, and she's like 4-5 in Bellator or something. So it's not that much of a statement win. So Paige could be pretty much screwed, especially because Amanda Hebus is kind of a beast, and she's 9-1, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it written down.
She beat so Mackenzie. She actually has a pretty impressive win against Mackenzie Dern, who won earlier this year. She put Hannah Cyphers in a knee bar or an ankle lock or something, and Mackenzie Dern's actually a beast, and Amanda Hebos beat her, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I feel like Amanda Hebos could absolutely just destroy, but for my prediction, I think it could go to a unanimous decision. I think that Hebus could maybe just beat the crap and hold Paige down for for 15 minutes straight. It could be one of those, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So we're both going Ribas.
Oh yeah, but yeah, for sure Hebus.
All right. Should we move on to the other ladies we've got in
Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas?
Yes. So for this one, I actually think I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go Jessica Andrade.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and she's a little bit older than Rose, right? Like Rose is kind of in her prime and Jessica's on the older side. But the thing about Jessica is she looks very, very strong. And in the UFC women's fights, when it only goes 3 rounds, I think that her age won't be as much of a factor, because I think she can sort of maintain her energy for it's only 15 minutes. So, I mean, I think she can stay in form for those 15 minutes. And I think she's sort of just going to out-muscle Rose and kind of keep Rose on the ground for the majority of the fight.
Okay.
I think her strength will overwhelm Rose. And even though Rose might be the better fighter, I just think that Jessica can pull this one out.
Okay. So for this one, so they fought earlier. So Andrade has already beat Namajunas prior before this. So their first fight, Rose Namajunas was picking freaking Andrade apart. She was just like popping her. Like, and then in the second round, because this was for the championship, the strawweight champion. Like Rose is the former champion.
Yeah.
And so Andrade, I forget exactly what happened. They're up against the cage, and then Andrade picks her up and slams Rose on her head and knocked her out. And then she won. Like, it was the craziest thing, because Rose was so dominant for the majority of the two rounds that they fought, and then Andrade just got this Hail Mary and knocked her out. So then and then Andrade became the champion, and then Andrade ended up having to go and fight Zhang Weili, who's the current champion.
Yeah.
And Zhang Weili from China, she's a beast. She knocked out Andrade, I think, pretty soundly. And then Zhang Weili had to fight Jessica Jędrzejczyk, and not Jessica, Joanna. And then Joanna, she was like the very first. She was one of the first. She was super dominant. She was the first strawweight, and Rose beat her twice. So like, and then like another MMA math thing that I know it's not really like good to do this, but Rose beat Joanna twice, and Joanna almost beat, like, it was crazy fight of the year status. Joanna almost beat Zhang Weili. So I think that Rose is a beast, and I honestly think that Rose is gonna run through Andrade. I don't think she's gonna get picked up and slammed on her head, because Rose is like better than Jessica in like every facet of the game. So unless she pulls out another like rabbit out of the hat and beats her, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So our first disagreement there.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think that Rose has way more impressive wins. Because like, so for example, Tisha Torres is someone that fought earlier this year, like on I think it was last fight card or one earlier, like 2 weeks ago. And Tisha Torres is an absolute like tornado. Like, she's so good. And I was just thinking, if Rose beat her, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. I just think Rose is a beast, and her husband is Pat Barry, who's a former heavyweight in the UFC, and they train like all the time together. So I just think that Rose is gonna. I wrote Rose with early KO.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think she's gonna knock her out.
I think 1 or 2 in 1 or 2 rounds she'll take her out.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, Jessica Andrade was riding a 4-fight win streak up until the Zhang Weili fight, but I just don't think she's on the same level. Like, the women, they're so far, like, few and far between. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of really good ones. Obviously, to make it to the UFC, you have to be super good. But I feel like the UFC pushes girls into stardom too quickly when they shouldn't be, because they need them. They don't have a ton of them at their disposal.
Okay. Yeah.
But who knows? Anything. This is a fight. You got a puncher's chance always.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you never know. Oh, wait. And then who do you got for Piotr Jan versus Jose Aldo?
All right. So when I was doing a little bit of research, this was actually the one that I think I'm the most excited for, because I think this one has a chance to be like a very up-tempo sort of. I think they'll be going at each other constantly. I think this one maybe has some knockout potential, and it's a title fight, right? So is it Jose Aldo who has the title right now?
Right now, so Henry Cejudo was the former champion, but earlier this year he retired, so it's a vacant title. So both of these guys are fighting for the strap. No one's crowned champion as of right now.
Okay, so it's totally up for grabs. Yeah. I think it's just an interesting matchup, because these are two guys who just like to go super aggressive, and they'll just be going at each other the whole time.
Yep.
But I think Piotr Jan, he's a little younger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little younger. I think he's a little maybe more athletic too. And so I think he can just sort of maybe overwhelm Aldo. And I think he'll maybe get a knockout in the 3rd or 4th round.
You think?
I think so.
That's entirely possible.
I think I'm going to go Piotr Jan for this one.
So with Piotr Jan, I like him a lot. His boxing's really crisp, and he's just kind of he's no nonsense. He's just going to go after you. That's something about like the Russian fighters. Like, they just they're not scared.
No.
Like, they just go after you. They're just trained killers. Yeah. And he has some good wins, but nothing like that really stands out to me. So he beat John Dodson, who is pretty good. He beat Uriah Faber, who by TKO or KO, and that's really hard to do. And then he beat Jimmy Rivera, who's a really tough guy, or tough 135er. And then, but besides that, there's nothing that really stands out to me. And I'm pretty sure he has the ability to knock out people, and he's coming off a knockout win. But I just think the experience of Jose Aldo is just like an X factor in this fight, because Jose has fought, like, he's undoubtedly a future UFC Hall of Famer. And his last fight, he fought Marlon Moraes, who was the 135 number one contender. And in my opinion, I thought he beat him, but the judges didn't give him the dub, which was like really surprising to me. Mm-hmm. And this is his only second fight at 135 pounds. He used to be a 130 or 145er, and he was like arguably one of the most dominant champions up until Max Holloway, who's like the co-main event, like took him out. Or actually Conor basically ruined Jose Aldo's career with his like 13-second knockout. But yeah, Aldo, I just think he has way more experience. He's fought Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Marlon Moraes, Jeremy Stevens, Frankie Edgar, and the Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jung. And then, yeah, I think that Aldo takes it in a close decision.
Okay.
I think it's a banger.
So we have our second disagreement already.
Yeah, I just think that I just think Marlon Moraes was the number one contender. He won, and I think Marlon Moraes easily takes out Petr Yan. Maybe not easily, but I think he takes him out. And Jose gave Marlon Moraes a run for his money. And he wasn't even ranked. He just dropped down as one of the top 45ers, came down to 135, and I thought beat him. And a lot of people do think he beat him. So I just think that he's in a position where he just has felt bigger guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't think 135ers scare him whatsoever. And he's been fighting forever. And he's only, 33?
Yeah.
He's something like that. He's only in his, he's not even in his he's, almost in his mid-30s. And he's been fighting forever.
He definitely, has the edge for experience, though.
I think experience plays a major role, especially when you're an elite fighter.
Would you agree that this is maybe one of the could be one of the most exciting fights of the night?
I think it is going to be the most exciting fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty, whoever wins, it seems like they're going to be some exciting moments. It's going to be razor thin. Yeah.
The only problem is I'm concerned maybe if Aldo could land bigger shots, but Petr could land more. Not that Petr can't land heavy strikes. I just think that Petr might have more volume. And that could win him a decision.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe he'll just come out just super fast and sort of overwhelm Aldo and not let Aldo get into his comfort zone.
Yeah, I think that Aldo could land the bigger shots, but Petr outstrikes him, and that plays a lot in the judges, when they're marking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they look at the strike differentials, it doesn't. Yeah. If you see someone outstruck you, even though they landed the heavier shots, they're going to give it to the person that probably landed more strikes, even if they weren't as significant. So, yeah. I'm going to go with Aldo, though. I'm still going with Aldo, though. I think he's going to probably get a decision. He's just been screwed over so many times that you have to catch a break every once in a while.
He's due. I'm going to go, though. I'm going to go Yan in a knockout, though.
Okay, dude, I could definitely see that happening. I could see third or fourth round knockout. Easy.
Should we move on to are you ready to move on to the co-main event? Yeah.
I think this is going to be a fireworks, though.
Yeah, didn't they just fight recently?
Yeah, they fought in December.
And
Max lost his strap.
Volkanovski won that one, correct?
Yeah, he outpointed him with leg kicks.
Yeah.
But Holloway beat him in head strikes and body shots. So I just think if Max starts checking some leg kicks, then he could win. And Max is the best. Besides Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo, Max is probably the best 145er ever. I'm always going to make the argument that Conor McGregor is the best 45er that's ever lived just because he's beat Jose Aldo and Max Holloway, but Max Holloway beat Jose Aldo twice and lost to Conor McGregor when he was only 20 years old or something crazy like that. So okay. I think that Max is going to get his belt back.
You think Max wins this one?
Yeah, I think he gets his belt back.
I think Volkanovski is able to beat him twice.
He's going to retain the title?
I think so, yeah.
It's completely – these are toss-ups.
Because I was looking at some numbers, and I discovered that when somebody steals another fighter's title, so in this case when Alexander Volkanovski stole Max Holloway's title, it's really hard for the guy who lost his belt to win the next fight against.
Isn't it like 2-6 or 8 or something like that?
Yeah. It doesn't happen very often. And
yeah, it's really rare that the person that lost their title gets it back or something.
Yeah, it's hard to like get revenge, and I think Volkanovski has like done nothing but improved since that fight.
Oh, 100%. Well, the thing is, what are you going to say?
And so I think he wins like even more decidedly than last time. I think this one actually has.
Well, you're just following the headlines. Because that's all Volkanovski's been saying this whole. He's like, I just need to make it more decisive. I don't want him to think in his head that he won. You know.
I mean, that very well may be, but I like Alexander a lot in this one.
He's cool, huh?
Yeah.
He played rugby, and he was like a tank. He was like 214 pounds or something, and he's cut down to 145.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. He's so good. He's so heavy-handed, and he has like his legs are tree trunks.
Oh yeah.
He's a stocky little sucker, but I just really like Max. Max is my boy. But I just think that Max is gonna get the belt back because he's gonna adjust. And he's just going to kind of come after him. And I think he's just mad, you know, but at the same time, I could see a motivated Alexander Volkanovski just going after him. I don't see him finishing it, though. If Volkanovski wins, he's not knocking out Max Holloway.
No, I agree with that.
Max Holloway does not get finished. Because Max is a scrapper, dude. He went up to 155 and fought Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier's a huge 155er. And they just you should watch Hooker versus Poirier. It's a crazy fight. You'll love it. It's action packed the whole way.
But wait, is Max Holloway Hooker?
Huh?
Is Max Holloway Hooker?
No.
That's Alexander.
No. I'm saying so. Max Holloway fought Dustin Poirier last year. And did really well against him. I thought he kind of won. It was for the interim lightweight title. But then Dan Hooker is like a beast lightweight. And Poirier fought and beat him. And so that just made me think how good Max Holloway is to go like the full distance with Dustin Poirier, who's fought for the title earlier because like Max Holloway, he's not a big 155er. He came up for that one fight.
Yeah.
I just think that Max Holloway's a gamer, and I don't think a lot of people can beat him. At least finish him.
No, yeah, for sure.
So I just think that Max is going to get his title back. He's too young. He's only 28 years old. I don't think the Blessed Express is done. I think that
this could be another exciting one, though.
I think this could be a trilogy.
Ooh, so you think they might go at it one more time after this?
I think if Max beats him and it's not a decisive victory.
They've got to do it one more time if Max wins, I think.
Yeah, especially if it's not. But the only way that doesn't work is if Max starches him. But I don't see that happening. I don't see either of these guys getting finished.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be a decision, but I think it's going to be unanimously in Max's favor. We haven't agreed except for the Hivas fight.
I know. That's why it's going to be interesting. I think that just goes to show like how exciting and close these fights all kind of are.
They're all toss-ups. All toss-ups. And if you're a betting man, there's not a lot of times that you're going to get Max Holloway as an underdog. So I
know. They're not priced as toss-ups at all. Like Volkanovski is the heavy favorite. So if you think Holloway is going to win, like that's a very good price.
The only way, like, there's just so many factors that have played into this, you know, because Max has had to do training camp basically on Zoom. So if you think of stuff like that, you never know. But I just think with the amount of experience Max has, he's just my favorite. Like, he's a beast.
Okay.
Gamer. I don't know. But the freaking main event is going to be cuckoo.
I know. Should we move on to that one?
I feel so bad for Gilbert, but
yeah, that sucks. To test positive
does make it a little more exciting.
It definitely brings a few more storylines into the mix, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what we talked about last time, but if Jorge wins, Connor's got such a good shot at fighting for his third belt. There's that could happen. I think Kamaru, though, beats him.
Yeah, I think last time I may have hinted that I was sort of leaning towards Jorge Masvidal, but I think I've got to go back on that after looking into it a little bit more, and I think I'm going to go with Usman again for this one.
I bet. So basically, if I'm the smart person in me, like the true like fan tells me that Usman's going to win, but that little thing in me like wants me to think that Jorge could take the dub. Only early, though. This does not go for long. Like, it's either
if it goes past 3 rounds, there's no way Jorge wins.
He's going to hold him against the cage and beat the piss out of him for 10 more minutes if it goes past the 3rd round.
Absolutely, yeah. Because Kamaru, like, he's pretty much in about as good a shape as you can be for an MMA fighter.
Have you seen him? He's a superhero.
If anybody was just going to go like 25 minutes and still be like laughing and smiling at the end, it's going to be Kamaru, right? Like,
dude, you've seen pictures of this guy.
Yeah.
This man's is huge.
He's a monster.
He is a monster. That's on. Yeah. Masvidal is big too, but I think a huge thing that people aren't going to really talk about is the amount of weight that Masvidal had to cut in 6 days. He had to cut 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That takes, I don't care how much a professional you are, that's going to tax your body.
And combine that with jet lag because you flew across the world and have to fight in 6 days. And not to mention waking up at like 3 a.m. in the morning to get ready for a fight. And I don't think that's going to bother Masvidal too much. Like he's
a gamer.
And he's been a pro for so long that like circumstances won't really bother him. Plus, from a little research I did, like he seems like he's a night guy. Like he was talking about how he goes to clubs till like 3 in the morning and then works out after. Like I don't really think late nights or early mornings are going to be too big of a thing for him, but I still don't think that's going to be enough for him to even compete with Kamaru.
For sure. Masvidal has brought really good wrestlers in, and he's trained with Yoel Romero, who's a middleweight. He's good friends with him, and he's trained with Colby Covington before, who's an extremely good wrestler. And he brought Bo Nickel in, who was like a Penn State wrestler, who's like a beast. But I just think that Kamaru Usman's on a different level, and when you incorporate everything, I don't think it gets much better than Kamaru Usman. In a mix. You can wrestle as much as you want with someone, but when you're only focused on wrestling, it's probably a lot easier to do better against a guy. But when you have to mix in punching and kicking and worrying about a takedown and Kamaru setting it up, I think that's a completely different story.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. Who do you think would have been the tougher opponent for Usman? Do you think Masvidal would have been tougher than Gilbert Burns, or do you think Gilbert Burns would have been a harder opponent?
Like, if Gilbert and Jorge had full training camps to get ready for Usman, because I think that Jorge coming off the couch is a big advantage. Not actually at the same time, Jorge, like we said last time, Jorge is not really coming off the couch. He's been training for him for a while.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit of mental.
It's blown out of proportion. I think he's been training for this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be ready. He's going to be ready.
But yeah, I think that Gilbert Burns is the tougher fight.
Yeah,
for sure. But in terms of money and stuff, I think that Jorge brings more of a spectacle to it. So that could bring more pressure to Usman, which could play a role.
Yeah, because it's one of like the fan favorites, super exciting, like Jorge Masvidal. Just kind of brings some unpredictability to it, but then he's going up against like one of the best fighters in the world. So,
yeah, I was rewatching Jorge's fight against Nate Diaz. That dude hits so hard, and his hands are so fast. The only thing that gives me a little bit of reassurance is that Kamaru's super durable and super tough. He has a chin of steel.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I don't know if he gets cracked, how much it's going to affect him. And if he gets cracked, he's not scared to take Masvidal down.
No, in fact, I think I think that's going to be a big advantage for Usman on the ground.
Oh yeah, if Masvidal hurts him on his feet,
yeah,
you better believe Usman's not going to stand with him for the remainder of that fight, because it's not a matter of if Usman's going to take him down; it's a matter of when and when he wants to. Because there's nothing. Maybe earlier in the fight, it's going to be hard. It's going to be easier for Masvidal to stuff a takedown or two. But if you just look at the physical strength, like if you just look at the two guys, it's completely different.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Masvidal came out like on fire and got some early momentum, but then after like a round or two, Usman's conditioning and like just physical attributes, I feel like will wear out, and he'll just take Masvidal to the ground and kind of just suck the life out of him for the last 3.5 rounds. And so I think it's going to be a decision, but like also an easy decision for Usman to win this one.
It's going to be a unanimous decision in favor of Usman.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be, I don't even know if Jorge is going to win a round. He could win one. He could win round one.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be like a 50-46 or something. It could be something like that.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
So we agree on Ribas and we agree on Usman, but the other three are going to be the ones to look out for, I think, because those three could really go either way.
Yeah, and then everything on the undercard, no matter what the odds say, it's a toss-up. Anybody can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only time the odds really, really, really matter is when you're talking championship fights.
And do you want to hear an interesting tidbit too I figured out today? So according to this one sports book, which was a pretty reliable sports book, I want to say it was like one of the major like UK ones. But anyway, they were saying 91% of the action was coming in on Jorge Masvidal. So like people are really liking to bet him. And so what that tells me is that Usman, even though he's like a minus 250 favorite, should really be a way bigger favorite than that. Because like the only reason that the line is as small as it is that like 90% of people are still betting Masvidal anyway. So I really think that Usman has some like terrific value in terms of like from a betting standpoint.
Yeah, he also has a tremendous amount of value when it comes to like the UFC and bringing in revenue.
Oh yeah,
he is insane. He went from people that were borderline, like people that were on the fence that were going to buy the pay-per-view, you know, and he put him over he put a lot of people over the top.
Yeah,
because a lot of people just want to tune in and see him. They don't really give a crap about anything else.
Yeah, he's just a fan favorite. Like I think probably a lot of people who will just buy the pay-per-view just like for fun as like something to do. I think those are the people, like the 91% who are just probably throwing like $20 or $50 down on Jorge Masvidal. But I think like the sharks, like the big money UFC bettors, are just gonna like put a lot of money on Kamaru Usman because I think the line for him is just so good this week.
The only thing that scares me is Masvidal's confidence.
Yeah.
That dude's confidence is like unparalleled. Like you can't compare it to anybody. He genuinely believes that he can kick Kamaru's ass, and Kamaru's pretty much the closest thing you can get to a real life superhero.
Yeah, what was he saying? Like Masvidal said it's going to be like a street fight or like a bar fight or whatever.
Yeah, Masvidal said, I just hope Kamaru sticks to the game plan and doesn't get falling in love with his hands, and before he knows it, he gets in a freaking bar scrap, and then it's the 5th round, and he realizes that, shit, I just lost 4 rounds on the feet when I could have took him down and destroyed him. You know what I mean? Because that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
Guys,
he can't play into Masvidal's hands, but I'm not really worried about that because like Kamaru's
locked in.
Like the number one guy for a reason, and like he's got to know that he's not going to be intimidated by some guy got thrown in at the last second and is just running his mouth. I don't really think that'll affect Usman whatsoever.
It's so funny. Masvidal was saying that he wants to, like, if he sees Usman at all in the hallway, he's going to take him out and he's going to beat his face in. And he said that on an interview. And then the same guy interviewed Usman, and he was like, talking to the interview, he's like, dude, if he saw me, do you really think he could do what he says to me? And I was like, I don't think so. Like,
probably not.
No. Like, you're not just going to shove that guy around. He's a tank of a human being.
Yeah.
He's a beast. I just don't know. Jorge is kind of right about him. He has, like, the way he talks and his mannerisms, and he has a lot of different personalities. And I just think it's him trying to figure out a niche for himself, even though he claims that he wants to be real, and genuine. But you want to make as much money as you can, and you're trying to market yourself, And I just think he's having trouble finding somewhat of an alter ego in order to sell fights.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. It's fine. I don't know how much I like Usman. I like him. He's cool and he's a nice guy, but he seems kind of fake at times. But Jorge, his confidence makes me a little angry sometimes because I think he's blown out of proportion to an extent.
Right. Yeah.
But it's fine. Do you have anything else you want to add on the topic of UFC 251? It's going to be a banger tomorrow.
I'm excited. Let me just run down my card, like one last recap. So I've got Ribas, Andrade, Jan Volkanovski, and Usman. And I think the first and the last ones were the only ones we agreed on. So I think there are just going to be a whole lot of, like, really close, exciting fights tomorrow.
I hope so. It's weird. Sometimes, a lot of times, I want quick finishes in order to get to the main event. But this one, it's like, take your time. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy this high level mixed martial art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's enjoy this because there's so many title fights. Because before you know it, 25 minutes blows by, especially when it goes. Because, like, how if your guy that you're cheering for is losing and you're like, oh, it's okay, we're in the first round. And then before you know it, it's the fourth. And you're like, fuck, he still doesn't want a round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's going to be super exciting. I'm pumped. But, yeah, another thing, I became a good boy and I wrote things down.
Wait, you wrote things down? Look at this. Full pages of notes.
Oh, of stuff we can talk about?
This was just my notes for when we decide to jump into that ranking of sports.
Oh, bro. So did you do the whole, all of them?
Yep. I ranked them all in 5 different categories and gave them a score out of 100.
Dude, you're an overachiever. I just did my top 10.
Well, then I summarized them. I have 4 lists. So I ranked my top 5 easiest, top 5 hardest, and then I listed the top 3 sports that the original list overrated and the top 3 sports that the original list underrated. So we can get into that.
Okay. First, I want to talk about that. That'll be our ending thing, but I wanted to bring up 3 things for you. Okay.
Okay.
What do you think about Stanford dropping, I think it was 12 of their programs?
Just
due to
for
coronavirus because they have.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I love it. And the entire Ivy League shut down their sports for the fall, too.
You love it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the coronavirus?
No, I mean, like, Stanford cut.
Just got rid of them.
They cut 12 programs.
Oh, I didn't hear
wrestling. They cut 12. I'm like, that's so sad.
Yeah, that does suck. I'm
pretty sure they had close to the record of most varsity sports.
That's crazy. No, I didn't even hear about this, but yeah, that does suck, especially for, like, the kids who were, like, already a part of the program. I mean, they probably weren't scholarship sports, so I guess it doesn't really hurt them in that effect, but, like, it's still sad.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's super sad. And apparently I was talking to my dad, and rowing there is pretty prestigious, and some of the things that they had to cut were pretty cool.
Yeah, because I know Stanford was always, like, atop the list in like the most NCAA titles, just because they were never good at like any of the main sports, but they just kind of dominated all of like the smaller things like your swimming or water polo or whatever. So that's super sad that they had to scale back. Was it just a financial thing?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, it has to be. It's hard to imagine Stanford like not.
Because because this is actually going to tie into it, because the Pac-12 canceling the conference games.
Oh, for football?
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Like the non-conference games?
Yeah. Yeah, and the Big Ten too, right?
Yeah, they Pac-12 copied the Big Ten. But I just want to note off some of the games that really upset me. So obviously we got the Oregon-Ohio State game.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, and that had massive implications.
I know.
As far as the college football playoff. And then SC Bama. That's sick. You never know how that goes. Keaton Slovis is kind of a baller. USC, you never know. They're always talented. You know what I mean?
They're always talented.
We'll say that. They're always talented. They don't know how to put it together all the time. But they compete. But then, like, got Stanford, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
SC, Notre Dame.
Right.
Those are cool. And then probably the biggest matchup of the year, Oklahoma State versus Oregon State. That's canceled.
The rematch.
Chuba Hubbard gets to unleash his anger.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to anymore. Then Michigan, Washington, I don't even know that was a thing. That would have been pretty sick.
That would have been cool.
And then last one, Colorado versus Texas A&M. It's always nice for the Pac-12 to have an opportunity to solidify their dominance over the SEC.
I know. Yeah. Especially when it's Colorado.
Yeah.
We're really putting our best foot forward there. But no, it's just going to be a 9-game regular season for them now, huh?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see. Like, I'm going to go on the record saying I don't even think there will be a college football season, at least in the Pac-12. Like, the SEC, like, they're all nuts down there. So, like, for all I know, they're going to just say F and play all 12 or 13 games.
Yeah, but
I don't think there's going to be a football season for the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah, especially since like the UC system, aren't they all their online their whole fall is going to be online.
Yeah, correct.
Don't you have to technically be in school in order to do sports?
Mm-hmm. And I just registered for my classes yesterday, and they're all online as well. I mean, I guess if anybody listening to this doesn't know, I go to the University of Oregon, which is obviously a Pac-12 school. And like right now, it's not like campus is like technically still open for the fall, but I would say a good 90 or 95% of the teachers have just moved their classes online anyway. So like all 4 classes that I'll be taking are online. And I think that's probably true for, I would have to imagine, pretty much every Pac-12 school, right? Like, is that how OSU is going to do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all mine are going to be online.
Yeah.
It's pretty crappy doing online chemistry labs.
Yeah, no kidding. And I'm trying to like decide if it's still worth it to move down to Eugene in the fall or if I'm just going to stay home for a few more months. So
I think it's probably, I mean, I don't see, why would you move there if you're not going to be going to school? You know?
Yeah, that's a good, right. Yeah. I mean, there are other advantages to not living with your parents, but
I understand. I understand that.
But are there like $2,000 worth of advantages? You know, those are the decisions that nobody really wants to hear about.
You have to.
My life.
You have to remain being a responsible adult, though, Jonah.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, you're talking to a kid who got a 3.8 GPA at his first year of college. So
you got a what?
3.8 GPA. No big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was okay. There are a few classes I could have done better in, but this is kind of probably not the most interesting podcast content. No,
yeah, it's fine. It's awesome. But yeah, as far as like the Pac-12, who even knows if they're going to have a season? The SEC will probably play a round robin tournament. The winner of that is going to win the national championship anyway. So
yeah. Might as well cut the crap,
just cut out. It's just the Power 2. It's like no, not even that. It's just like Clemson and the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should just do like the Power 2 conference, but just like or add Clemson to the freaking SEC.
And then Ohio State and Oklahoma can be in the ACC and Oklahoma can be in the SEC, and that's how we'll balance it out.
Yes, be beautiful. Yeah, and even there's actually some pretty good college football teams on the rise, like Texas, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma should be pretty good. They're like, is Spencer Rattler or whatever his name is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rattler. He's pretty good. I was watching like some YouTube videos on him. He seems like he's pretty legit. It's going to be a different thing though. They're not going to have a transfer QB anymore.
No.
But yeah, I mean, college sports are pretty much screwed. But I think I got an alert that said that they're not going to push back the 2021 college or March Madness.
Okay.
But who even knows?
I mean, everything's so touch and go these days.
Yeah, I know. You can't even.
Yeah, what you say now about something that's like 9 months from now is like basically irrelevant, I feel like.
Exactly. And so we'll see how it goes. But I am really interested for our final segment to hear.
Were there 2 other things you wanted to ask me about?
Oh.
I mean, the first one went so well, we might as well.
Oh, wait. Wait, so I asked you about
the Stanford thing.
And then I told you about the Pac. I was going to ask you about the Pac-12 canceling, but it kind of like segued in nicely.
Yeah, we kind of looped into that. Yeah.
And then I kind of just wanted to talk about a little bit of college football, but it's kind of tough to talk about because I was going to ask you a question about the college football, but I don't even remember what it was going to be. But it's fine. That's pretty much everything. There's not a ton going on in football.
No, yeah, and what is going on is still like kind of in doubt. So it's tough to like make absolute statements.
Yeah, like the NFL cut. They're gonna have 2 preseason games. 2 is gonna become 1. 1's gonna become 0.
2 is plenty, even for a regular year. I feel like.
Yeah, and I honestly have been talking to like people like because I really wish that maybe this upcoming MLB season, if they even have one, or at least a successful one, I really am interested to see how a shorter season, like 60 games, turns out.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you want baseball to be exciting again, I think a big part of it would be making it so a lot of like the games matter.
Yeah.
Like you can't go on a skid. Like nowadays, you can go on a skid in June and still be fine for October or when the playoffs come around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? If you go on like a 10-game slide during a 60-game season, it could potentially destroy your chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think that cutting some seasons down could actually be beneficial for sports, especially baseball. You know how like they're it's low-key dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
I still this is something we should probably talk about another time.
Mm-hmm.
But I still really want Portland to pull in that MLB team.
Yeah, I know.
I think that would be super exciting.
It would be so sick, and it's
kind of died down lately. I feel like though, which is
Portland Diamond Project.
Yeah,
I know. It's making me mad. It was such a hot topic. They had a place picked out, a location picked out,
like terminals. It was some sort of terminal, and then they even had the pictures of the stadium, and it looked so cool.
Dude, it had a freaking what's that thing called?
Tram.
Yeah, or what's that?
Yeah. The skybox.
This little the thing that goes up to like OHSU and stuff, you know?
Yeah, the tram.
Yeah, the tram. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could sit in and watch the game, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it was gonna be so cool. Yeah.
Could you imagine the line for that thing? Or do you think it's
crazy?
It'd be insane.
You imagine
like 7 innings.
Yeah.
Just for like a half inning.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plans for that's cool. I always like going through and looking at new teams' potential plans for new stadiums.
Right, yeah. The
It's cool
baseball stadiums are always so exciting compared to like other sports stadiums, I feel like.
Yeah, football stadiums are pretty generic, I feel like.
Same with NBA stadiums.
NBA arenas are probably the most boring.
Yeah.
Chase Center looks pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chase Center was like fancy. And then I love the Moda Center too, but they're all just kind of buildings.
Bianca, it's actually scary. Bianca told me that someone was going to go to Las Vegas, but then they're going to start shutting Las Vegas down again. And I was like, oh crap, that's where the UFC, like Apex, is located. So what if that affects apparently there's like 100% breakout there.
I'm sure the UFC could find another place to do fights though, right?
Yeah, but that's what they've been doing their US fights is in Las Vegas Apex. But I'm sure they could find another area for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so scary times. And everything's getting worse, bro.
Yeah, way worse.
Getting better.
Yeah, it's insane. It is scary.
Mm-hmm. So basically for this, I'm going to break down. I'll tell you my top 10 and you can break it down and then you'll tell me yours and I'll just react to it, I guess.
All right, awesome.
Because you put in way more effort. The 3.8 baller. Okay, so number one
hardest?
Yeah, these are all hardest. These are my top 10 hardest sports.
Okay.
Number 1, mixed martial arts.
Okay, yeah.
You think that's fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be on my list.
Number 2, could be a shocker. I was surprised it's farther and back in the list. I did rodeo bull riding.
Ooh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I had that one.
I think pound for pound, that's probably one of the toughest things you could do.
It's tough, yeah. And I also kind of valued like sports that were sort of risky too. And like, bull riding is one of those sports where you're laying it out on the line every time, Yes. And then and 3, this could be controversial for you, but I just wanted to put it in there given the fact that it's a very popular sport internationally. So many people want to do it. So many people try to get a gold medal in this. So many fail. I put wrestling. I like it. Yeah.
Wrestling's tough and it's such an international sport. So many guys, and the only way to really get recognition is to be in the Olympics or win a national championship or something like that. You know what I mean? Hard to make a living off of that. And that. For so much work that is put in time and energy, and to not get as much recognition, I feel like that's one of the hardest sports. Number 4, I put gymnastics.
Okay,
hear me out. It's just there's a certain so many people want to do it. It's so hard to succeed because you just like sprinting and running, you have to have a specific body type in order to excel at a high level.
Right.
Because you see Simone Biles and Gabby Douglas, they're small.
All small, yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to hate this, dude. You're going to hate this. But for me, pound for pound, if you take any of these athletes and put them in a batter's box, I guarantee you they're not going to be able to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So I'm putting baseball at the 5th spot, number 5, hardest sport. Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out, dude. When you were playing at baseball, I only played in high school, and I played against guys that were good enough to play in the college level. That's not saying much at all, but how hot the ball comes off the bat, there is a certain amount of you have to be so unbelievably coordinated to put a piece of leather on a ball moving 100 plus miles an hour at you on a baseball diamond where the grass is cut very fine and dirt can be very hard and it can bounce anyway. And then put that on, and then if you make an error, it's basically an individual sport. So if you make an error, people just look at you like it's a team sport. As much as people want to say it's a team sport, it's 100% individual. Every position is different. You can't hide a bad player on a baseball field because the ball will find you. Okay? So I put baseball, number 5. 6, we both know how hard this is. And to do it at a high level is
I know exactly where this is.
Distance running.
Yeah.
Cross country, it's a simple sport, simple thing. Run from point A to point B. Probably the hardest one, probably the most difficult thing a person can do. What Kipchoge did is remarkable. Breaking a 2-minute marathon, or a 2-hour marathon.
2 hour, insane.
I don't care if the shoes helped him, whatever. No one else can do that.
Yes.
Number 7, I think that the combination of physicality and coordination makes ice hockey pound for pound probably one of the toughest things someone could do.
Yeah.
Between focusing on skating, freaking trying to get a puck into a small little net with a human that's looking like a Michelin man blocking the goal. And then you have to worry about someone body checking you and you got to throw the gloves and prove you're a man.
I like that.
That's tough. And then 8, I think that this could be definitely debated. Dude, that's a huge ass fly. Oh my God. Figure skating.
I like that one too.
Figure skating at number 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
All right. This is where dinner started. Dinner was ready, so I kind of rushed to put a few down. I put boxing.
Yep.
At 9.
A lot of agreement here.
I think boxing, although it may not be, I don't know. I just think that boxing, there's just so much going on. And you have to, in order to excel at a really high level, you have to not only be an athlete and throw punches, but you have to know how to like dodge. I don't know. Like it's like MMA, just like without a few levels, like without kicking and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously. And then for number 11 then number 10, I put golf.
Golf is hard.
I put golf, and especially if you put in the context of the PGA Tour, like we talked about this last time, in order to focus for 4 days with 18 holes of golf a day.
Yeah.
Like
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting, mentally exhausting.
And the PGA Tour is like the best of the best too.
Oh, and also the amount of really good golfers there are that try, and then if you look at the amount of golfers there are compared to the guys that are really successful, it's like the ratio is vastly different.
And we don't need
the top. What?
Yeah, like you were saying, just there are so many good golfers, and obviously like only 150 tour spots that like it's tough. Even like with high school to college golf, like there are so many good golfers like that I played against like last year and obviously the years before that, and only one kid on OSU is from the state of Oregon, and that kid never even plays. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
So, and then in number 11, this was the last one. I think that you can make an argument that American football is tough as hell.
That one was not on my list, but
yeah, I just think that, like, I don't know. I think that the people, like, there's just so many really good athletes. So many people say, I played high school football, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, there's only so many guys that actually can excel at a super high level.
Yeah, the thing I thought about football, and this is kind of like maybe a bad argument to make about it, but like you only have to master like 10% of it. Because like if you're going to be a basketball player, like even if you're going to play center, you still need to have a baseline ability of like being able to shoot. You need to be able to dribble.
I see what you mean.
And if like who's the best football player of all time? Like just name a person, like Tom Brady, like just for example.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, he's only good at quarterback. Yeah, you're right.
It's
completely subjective.
Yeah, and he's only good at like 15% of football, No,
you're completely right. I didn't even think about it like that. That's a really good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, that's just kind of what.
Yeah, football is such a you don't have to master all of it.
No.
Like a DB is completely different from an offensive tackle.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but you can make an argument that that's what makes it hard too.
Yeah, exactly.
That you have to have all these moving parts moving in a cohesive manner.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I like that argument for sure.
Do you want me to get into my hardest?
So overall, what do you think of 1 through 10?
I actually liked your list a lot. I think football is tough, but you had it at number 10. So I mean,
no, I had it 11. I wasn't even in my top.
You had it 11. So it was baseball was the only one where I really sort of disagreed with it. But
I understand. I know. I'm a little biased. I'm just a little biased.
So should I get into mine? I didn't do as much as you. I only did my top 5 hardest. But
okay, I'm excited.
First,
so wait, these are hardest.
Yeah, these are going to be the hardest. First, let me give you my criteria.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to say that. I think that my criteria was definitely excelling at a high level.
Right, yeah.
Okay. That's not very specific, but I mean, like...
I gave 6 categories, and I graded each one from 1 to 10 in each of the 6 categories. So the first category is genetics, and that's basically self-explanatory. Like, if your parents were like 5'5" and 5'4", you're probably not going to be like the next Michael Jordan. So sorry, but that's just the way it goes. The next one was skill. So like, how hard is it to like perfect the game? Like, how many hours of practice do you need to put in?
Yeah.
Next is my next one was how hard is it to like begin in the sport? Like, if I picked up a golf club for the first time, like, it's going to be pretty tricky. But I mean, like, anybody can just like start to run or whatever, or anybody, like, some people bike to work, so that's a pretty easy sport to pick up. But nobody's going to, like you were saying, hop on like the back of a bull and start riding
successfully.
No, yeah. I mean, I guess you could, but and so then the next one was conditioning, which is basically like how good shape do you have to be to play the sport? Because obviously, like, staying in peak physical condition like 24/7 is hard. And
I feel so dumb. Like, you made such good criteria, and I just kind of like winged it.
Okay, but I have 2 more. So my next one is mental. Like, obviously, like, sprinting, I guess you could say it's mental, because I mean, you have to
have mental checks. Like, am I going like?
But it's not like you're concentrating. Like in baseball, like you were saying, you have to kind of be on edge and kind of be aware of what's happening and that sort of thing. Like, when you're sprinting, it's more just like physical than anything when you're actually like competing. And then my final one is just how competitive it is. Like, obviously, like, my experience of sports ended in high school. So, football, everybody makes the team. Cross country and wrestling, they beg you to like try out and join the team. So those sports aren't very competitive to make it in at all. But like basketball, like, everybody wants to play basketball, and there are obviously only like 12 or 13 varsity spots. So that makes it like harder to make it in that sport. Or like golf, like, I mean, not a ton of people want to play golf, but there are only 5 spots. So that's pretty like competitive as well. And then like, obviously you can apply like how competitive it is to make it to college. How competitive is it to make it as a professional? And so that was kind of my criteria. And so without further ado, should I launch into my top 5 hardest?
Yes, dude. This is insane. Like, you went all sports science on us.
I know. I kind of had fun. I had fun with it. I kind of nerded out on the list a little bit.
I love it. That's awesome.
So my hardest sport was basketball.
Yeah.
And
if you think about it, so many people want it. And
so many people want it. You have to compete on the highest level. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, you pretty much have to be above 6 feet tall to play basketball at a high level.
100%.
Like, how many players in the NBA are below 6 feet, I think?
And if they are below 6 feet, they have some abnormal attribute that makes them better.
Exactly. I think Tyler Ulis and Isaiah Thomas are the only ones actually measured under 6 feet. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say like Kemba Walker and maybe like
Kemba's 6.
Yeah, that's his measured height, but he like looks smaller. I don't know. Like, only 2 are measured. So you have to be at least like above average tall, which is not obviously a hard thing to do, because like, you're just
it's all genetic.
Yeah, but it's like, it kind of weeds out like 60% of the population. And then there's like how am I going to say this? Like, there are just like so many different, like such a variety of skills you need to learn to compete. Like, you need to, even if you're going to, like, he's a very one-dimensional player in the NBA. Like Dwight Powell.
Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah. All he does is, well, Joakim Noah's barely in the league, so let's use that.
Let's see. Just like almost any center that's not like Joel Embiid or something. Right, yeah. Just so any non-dynamic center.
Let's do Hassan Whiteside. So,
yeah, Hassan.
He's a rim runner. He plays above the rim. He's tall. He's athletic. But he wouldn't be in the NBA if he didn't have like a baseline level competency of like dribbling, shooting, passing. Like, you need to be skilled. And if you're not a 7-foot, insanely athletic guy like Hassan is, obviously you need to have even more of those skills. So, like, that's definitely something that matters. And then mental, obviously, like, I mean, especially in the NBA, like, you're running plays every time. You need to learn, like, what defense is your opponent running. Like, there are all sorts of little, like, micro things to pay attention to.
And also, like, you have to have the mentality, like, I got to keep shooting even though I'm shooting 20% from the arc this game.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you're, like, one of those gunner types. You need to kind of have that mentality, that confidence, which is hard. And so I guess, yeah, so whatever, basketball was my first one. Number 2, I agreed with you. I went wrestling, number 2, for all the reasons you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Just like you have to be in shape. You have to like cut weight or gain weight, which is tricky. Like, it's obviously like a physically draining sport. And so.
Yeah, you have like a freaking time limit. You can't do that shit your whole life.
Mm-hmm, exactly, yeah. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. Like, it's just hard. Like, and it seems like it would hurt. Like, I've never wrestled before, but I don't think I would like it.
No.
Number 3 is ice hockey. Just like you were saying, like, I think the coordination ice hockey players have is insane. Because, like, handling a puck, I feel like I've never tried it. I've never played ice hockey.
While skating?
Yeah, while skating.
Worrying about someone checking you into a glass wall?
It's so physical. And so I think ice hockey seems really hard.
Yeah.
And then number 4, martial arts. Like you were saying, you have to be in crazy shape. You're getting your shit clapped even when you win. And so that's just.
Yeah, even when you win, you are like getting destroyed.
Yeah. And then number 5, for the same reasons as martial arts, I put boxing, which is basically the same, but just kind of boxing is like just boxing, and martial arts is like boxing along with like obviously a variety of other categories. And so that's kind of
100%.
That's kind of what bumped it one spot ahead. But
I'm excited to hear your least easy.
You mean the easiest?
Or yeah, like the easiest, yeah.
Do you want to go first again, or should I just jump straight into mine?
Well, I only made the top 10 hardest. I didn't go.
So you can like comment on my easiest.
Yeah, I'll either agree or refute.
I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up to the top, if that's okay. So number 5, I picked roller skating. I didn't even know that was a professional sport that existed, but I can't imagine it's too competitive or that they're getting paid too much. So like. Obviously, like, not getting paid leads to not competitive, because if you're not making money, nobody's going to want to do it, which kind of opens it up for the people who just are passionate about it for some reason. And then, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, for me, roller skating just seemed like something a 7-year-old kid would do after they got skates for Christmas or something. It didn't really seem like a high level competition.
Yeah.
Number 4, I put fishing, because it just didn't really like hit in any of the categories for me.
Resonate.
It didn't resonate with me whatsoever. Like, I think you probably need to have like an IQ. Like, obviously some people catch more fish for a reason. Like, there's obviously a reason why some people are good at it. And I think that's probably just a lot of like know-how. And I don't really think there's well, I mean, maybe some people can like throw their rods better than others, but I don't think that makes too big of a difference.
Like,
you obviously don't.
Yeah. What?
You don't need to be in shape for it. You just did in a boat. Like, it's pretty easy. Anytime like a sport is something that you just like can go sit in a boat all day. I mean, it's not really hard, crazy hard.
Yeah.
Number 3 is billiards. I put billiards, and looking back at it, I don't know why I put it there because I've played pool and I'm really bad at it.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah, I don't know why I put it there. I guess you don't have to be in shape, but I mean, pool is pretty hard. Like, yeah, fishing and roller skating, I would both say are easier than billiards.
You're right in the sense that you can be anybody and do it. You don't have to, besides practicing it, you don't have to be a physical specimen.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Number 2, I put water skiing, just because water skiing's so fun. Like, I never really thought of it as a sport. I mean, I just thought of it as like something you go and like do just for fun, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So,
but when you bring in the aspect of like doing tricks and stuff,
yeah, I guess that's
I feel like
hard.
that can get pretty physical.
Yeah, some of these sports I've never really watched them, so I didn't really know what water skiing would be like in a competitive format. But
yeah, I assume it's like X Games.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think you're right. That's got to be number 1. My easiest sport won by a landslide. It wasn't even close. Okay, are you ready to hear what it is? Do you have any guesses before I say it?
I feel like you're gonna say baseball or something.
No, it wasn't baseball.
Okay.
Baseball was like middle of the road. It wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, number 1 easiest by a long shot is cheer.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. When I think of cheer, I think does it really get better than high school cheer? Like, are the college cheerleaders that much better? I mean, maybe they are. But in that case, like, college cheer is like the pinnacle of the sport. Because I know a girl, like, I mean, shout out Lauren, blazer dancer, goes and works her shift at Hooters immediately after the games. Like, that doesn't really scream like pinnacle of hard athletic sports. I don't know. I just feel like, and they don't get paid at all, which sucks. I mean, I'm sorry, but nobody really wants to be a professional cheerleader. Like, it's something you kind of do for fun while you're in college, and then then it just tails off.
I think that there's definitely things that make it difficult.
I mean, yeah, I can't do a backflip, so I mean, it's obviously
stuff
hard.
like that, like the gymnastics, that kind of stuff, and then not just gymnastics, but the pressure to look a certain way. I feel like that can be mentally taxing on a person. Stuff like that. I feel like I would probably put billiards and fishing closest to the top.
Really?
I feel like I feel like you have a good thing going, but I feel like you should mix up that. Do you honestly think that fishing is harder than cheerleading?
Oh yeah. I stand by cheer at number 1 easiest. Not even.
What about water skiing? Like,
water skiing,
legitimate water skiing is harder.
Yeah, I think water skiing is probably harder than I'm giving it credit for. I think I don't like the way I made this list. As I look back at it, I think cheer is obviously number 1. I think I should have made fishing number 2. I think fishing's the second easiest sport.
You're a hater, dude.
A hater for what?
Cheer.
I mean, I'm sorry. Somebody had to be the easiest sport. Like, somebody had to come in last on this list.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Can I give you some like honorable mentions of like other sports I thought were pretty easy?
Of course.
So like,
that kind of reminds me. So, you're gonna watch tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we do a show after, I think that we should like pick performers and like give our like performer of the night or something like that. Okay. Like honorable mentions and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. You want to do it tomorrow night?
After the fight, do you want to?
Yeah, what time? Yeah, for sure. What time do they usually get over? Probably around 10, right?
10, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, yeah, if you want to do like a post thing, we can definitely do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Cool.
So, I mean, just a few more sports that I didn't think were that hard were equestrian. Anytime when that animal's doing all the work for you, I don't really think that.
So does horse racing fall on the same level as equestrian? Because horse racing and equestrian, I think.
No, I actually had horse racing racing way higher.
So equestrian, that's more hurdles, trotting around.
It's like an obstacle course for horses. But I didn't really seem too hard to me. And then,
besides having to ride a massive animal and taming it, I guess. But yeah.
And then, bowling, I had pretty far down as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of people I know can't do anything else, but they can roll 3 hundos.
Yeah, easily. And then one that I really felt bad, because I actually have tried this sport before, and I really, really liked it, and it's super fun. But I had curling kind of low on my list.
I've never done it. I've never understood how it worked.
Oh, you need to try it sometime. It's super cool.
Where do you even do it? How do you do it?
You've seen curling, obviously, right?
Yeah, they just like smooth the way and they try to land it.
Yeah, it's like shuffleboard on ice, I guess is the simple way. But they've got a place up in Beaverton where you can go play, and it's super, super fun.
Really? Okay, yeah, I kind of want to try it. We should try it.
It's sick, yeah.
That's dope. So
I got super into it in 2018 during the Winter Olympics.
I feel like I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I was like watching curling all day, every day during class and all that stuff. And then it was kind of funny because my uncle knew the guy who like owns the curling spot up in Beaverton.
No way.
Yeah, and so we were able to go up there quite a few times and play. And it's
that's sick.
So much fun.
That's awesome. I remember... What?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it hasn't. What I was going to say has nothing to do with what you're going to say.
I feel like if I had started curling earlier, like when I was little and practiced a lot, I feel like I could have gotten good at it. I feel like that sport would have been in my wheelhouse, you know?
Mm-hmm. Would you be the pusher or like the little scrubber? Or do they rotate around?
No. I would have wanted to probably be the pusher, but I could have gone.
What are the position names? Like what even is... Do they have specific...
that pushing the rock is called hurling, and then there's hurling and sweeping. And in some formats, like there's mixed doubles.
Oh, okay.
And in like the mixed doubles, then they actually do take turns, and one of them hurls and one of them sweeps, and then it rotates.
That's sick.
It's a cool sport.
So, how many sweepers?
It depends. Usually there are 4 though.
4 sweepers?
Yeah. And then sometimes there are 2 and sometimes there are 1. There are like different variations of it.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of mind-boggling that what they do works? Like they make a imaginary lane and then they can like land.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like that's kind of mind-boggling to me.
I mean, what happens is it doesn't really like change the course of the rock. It just kind of, when you sweep the ice, the friction causes the ice to melt. And when the ice melts, the rock rolls faster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I have no idea how that works at all.
And so, like, if you're the hurler, like, let's say I'm the hurler, and I throw the rock, and I didn't quite put as much on it as I wanted to, which is good. Like, you're always supposed to, like, throw it softer than you think you should, because you can always sweep and make the rock go faster, but you can't, like, do anything to make the rock slow down. So you always throw it slower than you think you should. And then, like, the hurler just kind of yells out directions. Like, he yells out, like, sweep, sweep, or whatever.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
That's hilarious. I love that. I would definitely try that. So, is it timed?
What do you mean? Like,
how does the match even work?
So, like, there's a target at the end. Like, you've kind of played shuffleboard before, right? So it's basically just like that you're trying to land the rock in like a certain area to get more points, and then you're trying to like bump your opponent's rocks out and stuff. And there's a ton of strategy too, because you like have to like position your rocks. Like if you get a rock in the middle and your opponent like for some reason misses the rock, and you have the rock in the middle, you like try to guard it and certain
yeah.
And so it's just so cool. It's like chess and shuffleboard, but it's
sick.
I wish there was one in like Corvallis or Albany, because I would play all the time.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. I would do it with you. It sounds kind of fun, but it seems like it would get exhausting after a while. Just like mentally. I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. Like if you maybe didn't find it like like very exhilarating, I feel like it can get boring quickly.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. So was that pretty much both your lists? Or because I feel like you wrote a bunch of stuff down.
And then what I was showing you earlier, that was just where I had been scoring them. But I also made the list of the top 3 sports that were like overrated and underrated by the actual list.
Okay.
We're going to hear those. I mean, we don't have the actual list with us right now, so it might kind of be no point to it. But
wait, you want me to pull it up?
Sure, we could pull it up. Okay. Yeah.
I wish, dude, I don't know how to work Zoom very much. I wish there was a way to. Wait, yeah, do you have it?
The actual list?
Yeah. No, I'll pull it up right now, actually.
I saved it to my photos.
Sick. Okay, high key, though, like, it. Oh.
That's not focused at all. Oh, now.
No, that's beautiful.
Can you see it at all?
I can kind of.
Barely? Okay.
I'll just pull it up.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Okay. All right, dope. I got it. So what's your 3 overrated?
So I thought you're not going to agree with this because 2 of these were on your hardest list. But I thought gymnastics was slightly overrated, which, I mean, gymnastics is very hard, and I'm not really obviously trying to take anything away from it, but I thought number 8 was a little bit high. Like,
I made it number 4.
You made it, yeah. So I mean,
that could be high, but I just think that it's such a specific thing. In order to be so good at it, you have to look a certain way, and the way that these, like just the things that they do, mesmerize me.
Mm-hmm.
And have you watched the Larry Nassar documentary, The Athlete A?
No.
Okay, I don't know if you would like watch it by yourself, but like I watched it with Bianca, and it was about Larry Nassar and that whole deal.
No.
You don't? You know how like he was molesting the gymnast?
Oh yeah, he was the doctor at Michigan State.
They made a documentary on that, and I don't really want to talk about him because he's a terrible person, obviously. But they were showing like footage of the girls like running and doing their flips and like twirling from bar to bar. I'm like,
they're so athletic.
Yeah, the athleticism it takes to excel at a high level is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, let me see what categories I scored it low in.
Okay.
Because I don't really know. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's hard. Yeah,
but maybe not number 4.
Maybe not number 4.
But I feel like if I put wrestling at 3, I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I had wrestling at 2 though, so we both agreed that one's really
But then baseball at 5 is definitely like a lock.
A lot. Yeah.
It froze you. That literally froze you. You're
I was about to say baseball was number 2 on my overrated
list. Jonah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jonah, overrated. Okay, I know that what I say doesn't really affect other people's opinions, or like if you have already a preconceived notion in your head, what I'm going to say is
definitely
going to change your mind. But I mean, like, if you think about it, it's a frightening sport when you're playing it at a high level. Like, have you ever watched the freaking GoPros on an umpire's face mask when a guy's throwing?
Yeah, but even worst case scenario, you do get hit by the ball, right? Like, that's still a good thing for you. Like,
yeah, but worst case scenario, you have a bruise that looks like a black mark on your body, and you have a potential broken rib.
Yeah, but you're on first base, so you're laughing. But
yeah, Jonah.
And then
Jonah, it's so scary, dude.
Yeah,
standing in and actually hitting a ball, like being competitive in the box against a really good pitcher, is so hard. It takes so much practice. And that's why there's not a lot of people that can do it. That's why I couldn't do it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Baseball, like when you're batting, like that's one thing, and that's like 2% of the time you spend playing the game. But then if you're like a left fielder or a center fielder, you're just standing out there for like hours at a time, and maybe the ball gets hit to you like 3 times in a game. And you're just kind of standing out there and doing nothing. And I understand those are probably like the 3 easiest positions to play, right?
Well, you can make the argument that catching fly balls is not the easiest thing. Like, okay, it's just all.
When your argument is that catching a ball is what makes it hard, and that's the 8th hardest sport there is.
Okay, but it's just like there's things that you don't like. People that haven't really played it don't really understand.
Yeah, and that's true for all of these sports.
When a ball,
I understand, but
no, yeah, I know that. But when I don't know, this is something that I say that pisses so many people off. If you put a baseball player, a lot of times baseball players are so good at other things that they can play the majority of other sports. But if
we just saw that with you on the golf course a couple weeks ago. So I believe you.
But if you take if you took Bryson DeChambeau and put him against one of the best pitchers in the MLB, I don't think he's going to be too hot. But I guarantee you, if you play if you have like a long drive competition between like Bryson and like Mike Trout's going to catch on to golf pretty quickly.
Yeah, but a long drive competition is nothing even close to like what golf is, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like a guy like that's hella coordinated could become anything they wanted to.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. Like, it's hard, but I just think
I guess your argument is kind of proven because Brooks Koepka said he wishes he could have played baseball, but he wasn't good enough, so he had to play golf.
Yeah.
So I guess he's kind of like the living proof of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just tough. People shit on baseball, but it's so unbelievably hard. Yeah, another thing that makes it hard is the failure. You fail so much. Like out of any other sport, if you shoot 30% from the field, you're probably not going to play on an NBA team.
No, for sure. But that makes it easier too. Like you only have to do good 30% of the time.
Yeah, but if you don't do that good, you're going to get sent down or you're going to lose your scholarship.
Yeah.
And if you make an error, that you could play a perfect game all game, you make it one error and that scores 2 runs. And you're in the 9th inning, that could cost you the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And if you say you make an error and you don't get the ball hit to you the rest of the game, that error is going to be stuck in your mind until you get another ball. And you're going to be thinking about not wanting to mess up. Also, you could have 3 hits. You could just piss on 3 balls in the gap. You strike out 1 time your last at bat, you don't remember those last 3 hits. You think about how the hell that guy struck you out.
Do you know what I also think is possibly the hardest part of baseball? Like how many games there are. Just having to wake up every day.
Yeah.
And then play. Yeah.
That's why I think they need to shorten it.
There are obviously like hard parts about every sport on this list. I just thought it was crazy to put baseball at number 9, where
Put at 5.
I'm talking about this list. I know you put it at 5, but I just think it's crazy to put a sport at 9 when
I just think pound for pound hitting a baseball is like one of the hardest things you can do.
Yeah, but that's only like 5% of what you do in baseball.
It's half.
No, I'm talking about like what you spend time doing. Like a baseball game's 3 hours and you might spend like 6 minutes at the plate, right?
Exactly. You don't get a lot of shots.
I guess you're right there. Maybe we can just agree to disagree.
Yes.
I mean,
it's fine. I completely understand your argument. I just have a stronger opinion towards it.
I think all of these sports are hard. I mean, obviously, except for cheer, but like there are really no wrong answers.
No, yeah, I 100% agree, but I just want to make my case.
Okay.
Okay, what's the other one?
And then my last one was racquetball.
Yeah.
Which
racquetball's kind of hard, dude.
I know.
The ball's flinging around everywhere.
Yeah, and racquetball is probably one of my favorite sports to play. I've never played it against anybody who was actually good. So that's probably why I think it's easy. But because I mean, usually when I played, it's just like at the gym or whatever. Like obviously, Sam Fit has a racquetball court, but
yeah, racquetball. Just everything can be tough, but
yeah, I can like see how it would be hard if you're playing against a pro and he's like smashing it at the wall to you. But I've never really experienced that, and I don't know.
But pound for pound, I think. What were you gonna say?
It's just like you're in such a small, closed-in box that like the ball can't get away from you like it does in tennis. Like you can't really hit the ball away from your opponent.
You gotta have crazy reaction time.
Yeah, you have to have good reaction. Well, I mean, yeah, depending on who you're playing. Like, I guess if the person you're playing can hit it fast. Like I mean, like I was saying, if I probably played against someone who was halfway good at racquetball, I'd think it was impossible. But
yeah,
where did they have it ranked even? Because
I have no idea.
They had it ranked number 22, so they had it in like the upper half of difficult sports.
Wow. Another thing that didn't make my list was like skiing.
Skiing, really?
Alpine.
Like cross country skiing?
No, like like the Warren Miller movies, how like those guys are going down and then they're like causing avalanches.
Oh yeah. Oh, alpine skiing.
Yeah, alpine skiing.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, yeah, that's what I meant. Like that I feel like that's really tough too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And cross country skiing too. Mm-hmm. Like when you have to like
that is tough.
Yeah, because I go skiing like just for fun and like it burns after a while. Like it's really like hard on your legs and I go so slow. So if you have to go fast and you're in a race and you have to do it for like, I don't know how far they race, probably like 3 miles though. Like I just think like the shape you have to be in for that to even be possible is mind boggling.
Yeah. Don't they have the competitions where you like shoot and then you have to ski?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the decathlons or whatever. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I think distance skiing is a lot harder than distance running.
I mean, you could probably make the argument for sure because you're not using your usual body mechanics.
Exactly.
To run.
Yeah.
It's like running in the sand or something. It's way harder.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I bet if you were like a professional like skier and that was like what you did, it would probably be a lot easier because don't you think those kind of like turn into your body's normal mechanics?
For sure. It becomes second nature.
Right. So I'm sure for them it's like probably feels like running does to like mirror you, but I don't know. I've been skiing and I know like how much it hurts after you've been going for like a mile and you have to go uphill and like your thighs are burning and all that stuff. I think it's super hard. Yeah.
I think that pound for pound, the hardest sports are the ones that have potential for significant or moderate injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't you think? Like the risk, the higher the risk is to the reward or whatever, I guess that's when the harder sports come in.
Yeah.
That's why like MMA is tough, like the hardest for me in wrestling and rodeo and gymnastics and then baseball, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd hate to get bruised by a fastball.
It hurts more than it seems.
I remember in 8th grade, you got messed up by a baseball bat.
Yeah, Brandon Dowell. We were warming up. You remember that? I had like a huge thing.
Your face was like messed up for a few months, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I have like this deep ass dimple. How far back it goes.
Oh yeah. Wait, that's from that?
Yeah, because remember my face rolled up like a golf ball because we were doing warm ups and it was a rainy day and we were swinging with those wooden dowels hitting the little wiffle balls and it slipped out of his hand and it cracked me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it sucked because I had freaking braces on because I was in 8th grade and I had to like take my freaking cheek out of my. And everybody was laughing at me.
Yeah, everybody gave you so much crap for that. I
died, dude. I still played the game because I'm a savage.
Yeah, that was scary though. But that alone probably moves baseball up a few spots.
Yeah.
Getting hit by a bat during practice.
But okay, another thing. Freaking when you're taking BP, you got to be red alert at all times. Because I've got hit by balls or almost hit because if you don't pay attention, balls just come whizzing by you. It's so weird because like if you think about it, there's so much space and stuff. You're like, how could one little ball have the exact trajectory and come and hit me, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. Especially that's what really gets me with golf is you're getting this little ball, and when people get hole-in-ones, it's like you see this little surface area in the ground and you're hitting a tiny sphere and you're making a hole-in-one like out of all of the grass and earth out there, and you get it in that one little hole. Like that's amazing.
Or like on a par 5, like you've got 5 shots to get a tiny ball half a mile into a little hole. Like it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and especially how balls can travel 400 plus yards. Like, because like putting that into perspective, like for me, I always like put it out as a football field, and I'm like, like that's crazy that you're hitting. Like some people are hitting the ball 4, almost 5 football fields away from them.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. But I'm proud of us. I think we went for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, this was a long one.
I feel it gets easier and easier, huh?
Yeah. Do you think we'll be able to put this one up, or is 2 hours a little bit over the top?
We can just do the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, the audio is perfect. The audio is perfect. But yeah, when I'm sending it, or I do it through like WeTransfer, it takes so much for it to we can even put this on YouTube, but it takes a ton to make it 2 gigabytes or whatever. Like there's like a 2 gigabyte max on this website that I can send files to my friend.
Oh yeah.
And it you have to literally record for hours and hours and hours in order to reach 2 gigabytes of a file or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
And we can do one if you want to. We can do one tomorrow after the fights.
Yeah, I bet we could do one tomorrow night, and if nothing else,
we can always do it on Monday. Yeah, but I want to send the audio to my friend because he can get this up like today, or right now.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So then we can actually look at our predictions and like see if we were right or not. You know.
I know. I'm excited. I'm glad we disagreed on a few, so we can have something to like compare. I guess.
It's what?
I mean, there's such toss-ups. I feel like that it doesn't really like. I think it's going to be like pretty much luck whoever wins between us. I feel like. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Is that that when you get to such a high level and all these guys are like number 1 contenders, basically, the gap between them is so like if one guy messes up, that costs the fight for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be pretty sick. I cannot wait. I just feel bad for them that the time difference.
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me back on again.
No problem. 3rd time in a row. Let's go. Okay. All right. Have a good night. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fights tomorrow.
Yeah, you too. All right. Bye-bye.